Hello and welcome to a quick look video. Now, as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, since I decided I was going to start doing some more videos for my channel, I also had mentioned that I reinvested some of the proceeds from my engine sales from last year into some more engine subjects for the coming videos for this year. And what I've got on the table now is one of those engines. Now this is an OS FS-40 Surpass engine. I found this on eBay for a very attractive price, and it's an engine that I had once or twice before in the past, but I never really completely evaluated the performance of it. And I always really kind of love the 40 Surpass engine anyway. Granted, it's just a 40, it's not the 48, but it is just an exceptional example of OS quality from the late 80s. I can't recall exactly the year right now. I'll have to look on my OS timeline to see what year this came to the market. But I wanted to read real quickly what the history of this engine, known history of this engine is, at least from the purchaser or the seller that I got from eBay. And I'm reading exactly what he sent me. The best I can recall, I bought this engine in the late 80s, as I mentioned. I'll get that exact date, well, at least the year. The engine has never been disassembled and has not had the bearings replaced. I only had the engine on one ship and estimate about 50 runs. The engine has been a good runner. Like I mentioned, I don't get out much any longer and stop building, and now it's time to downsize, keeping only a few of my favorites, blah blah blah. So anyway, so it looks like this was an original engine purchased in the late 80s by this gentleman, and it's never had the bearings replaced, but and it's only been on one airplane for approximately 50 flights, he says. So what I'm going to do with this engine, the plans for this engine in the video series on this engine is, and by the way, it turns over very well. It's got very good compression. It feels smooth. Everything feels great in this engine. So what I'm going to do with this engine is I am going to do this quick look video. Then I'm going to do a box to the bench run. I have not touched this engine at all. I have not put a drop of oil in. I have not loosened a single screw since I got this in the mail. What I'm going to do is a box to the bench run on this engine just to see how it runs, see how it sounds, see if any of the bearings do have any kind of noise at all. And then regardless of that, and knowing the fact that this has never had bearings replaced, I'm going to do a complete look inside, disassembly, cleaning of this engine, replace the bearings if necessary, and then we'll take it from there. But one of the other things I'm going to do using this engine as my subject is, there are many people out there that have these OS Surpass engines, and they go to disassemble them and they have very difficult time getting the piston pin out from the piston, and then they also have a lot of questions about replacing the camshaft bearings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this engine as a subject, and I'm going to go through my complete disassembly procedure, and I'm going to explain all those two major things with OS Surpass engines as far as how you remedy them. Getting the piston pin out and those types of things, and replacing the cam bearings. Now I've already got a video online on replacing camshaft bearings, and really what I've shown there is the basis of what you do to replace bearings. You basically just push wax or small piece of paper or something into that inner hole of the bearing until it just pulls it out. Whether I'm actually going to replace the camshaft bearings on this or not, I don't know. It's yet to be determined. But that's the methodology. Lots of people have developed their own little tools to do it, but I'm going to show you a way that you don't need any special tools. In fact, that video already shows you a way to do this that doesn't require any special tools or tooling or anything like that to replace the bearings. So that's what the plans are for this beautiful little engine, and I'm pretty happy to have scored this. Now this is all I got. I didn't get a box or instructions or anything like that, but it does look like it was owned by a very good and conscientious modeler. It does look like it's in pretty good shape. I mean, for its age and the amount of time it's got on it, which isn't all that much, it's pretty clean on the outside. Now I'm going to clean it up, obviously, and I'll pull out my ultrasonic cleaner and do that. But that's the plans for this particular engine. So look for that videos and the next videos for this engine in the coming months. Thank you very much.